Today we're going to look at another attacking tactic created by ZaZ. This tactic helped us secure promotion with Cambridge in Skybet League 1 and we're leveled on points with Charlton Athletic going into the final day to figure out who is going to win the league. But get this, Cambridge United were not even a League 1 team to begin with. They are actually a League 2 team recently promoted from Skybet League 2 into League 1. They had that promotion last season before I took over, and when I took over they were struggling in Skybet League 1 because they were a newly promoted team, and because they were struggling, that was why they actually hired me to get into the job. And then after securing promotion with Cambridge in the last season, with the following season went on to actually dominate the league. So the tactic is the shape that I've been trying to work on now. It's good that ZaZ has done it before me, so I'm just going to go ahead and share the system with you. We will also play the final game of the season, and just to show you how the tactic actually works out. In case you're interested to see how the tactic actually plays out, stick around for that part of the video. It's a back three system, that's why I like it, but what is unique about this tactic is that if you look at the way the team is set up in possession, they're set up with 3 front strikers. However, when they're out of possession, the strikers go into the winger position and try to be a bit more defensive, while the fullbacks, of course, they drop deep into a flat back 5 and you have your 2 defensive midfielders. So it's a shape that I've really been looking to try and recreate in Football Manager, where your wingers are so wide when they're out of possession, and when they're in possession they're essentially playing like strikers. That has worked out immensely well for us here with Cambridge, and we've had massive results. So we're going to look at the player rules first of all, then we'll look at the team instructions. Now you're going to have to bear with me because Football Manager's player rules are still broken, so we have to go each and every one of them one by one and try to figure out what the rules are. So we have the goalkeeper that is a super keeper and a ball playing goalkeeper, but obviously Football Manager is broken, so it's showing us a centre back. Just go ahead and click the centre back role and you're going to see that he's playing as a ball playing goalkeeper in possession, but when he's out of possession you can see that he's playing as a super keeper. In central defense you have 3 ball playing centre backs. Now if you go back to the ball playing centre back, their instruction is only to take more risks, but that is a default instruction. There's no other instruction selected for the ball playing centre back. Out of possession, however, they have been asked to tackle harder and they will just be playing as a normal centre back. The instructions are pretty simple as well for the wing backs. If you look at the wing back on the right hand side, his only instruction basically is just to play out of possession. He's playing as a fullback, remember. Out of possession is a fullback, but when he's in possession, the only instruction for him is basically nothing. So no risk or whatever. Do the same for the wing back on the left hand side, just add the instructions, tackle harder. Now in central midfield, remember the central midfielders are going to be acting as central midfielders in possession. However, out of possession, they will be playing as defensive midfielders. So if you go back to the central midfield role, you're going to see that they're playing as channel midfielders. Now the channel midfielder has a few instructions. By default, he's going to be moving into channels, but you can go ahead and add that. Forward runs is going to be making more forward runs. Out of possession, however, he's playing as a defensive midfielder, remember. And in that defensive midfield role, only instruction for him is going to be to tackle harder. You're going to do that for the 2 central midfielders, which essentially are channel midfielders. Now for the centre forwards, you have 3 channel forwards. Ideally, they will have the same instructions. Go back to the channel forward. They're also going to be doing similar to what the channel midfielder is doing. But you can see that the instruction log for the channel forward is to move into channels. He's also going to make forward runs. Go ahead and add that instruction. And out of possession, he's not playing as a tracking attacking midfielder. Be careful. He is playing as a centre forward. Now this is the central striker. He is playing as a centre forward, and the only instruction for him out of possession is to tackle harder. We can confirm that now. Now for the 2 wide strikers, the channel forward on the left hand side is essentially going to be moving into channels, making forward runs. But when he's out of possession, he's playing not as a tracking attacking midfielder, but as a winger. Now he's playing as a winger, and the only instruction you have to give him out of possession is to tackle harder. You're going to do this for the right striker as well. He is a channel forward. He's going to be moving into channels and also making forward runs. When he's out of possession, he's going to be playing as a winger, not a tracking attacking midfielder. He's going to be playing as a winger, and you're going to ask him to tackle harder. Now those are the team instructions. They're very simple, nothing too complicated, just players doing the same things on either side, and it's quite effective on Football Manager. Now if you look at the team instructions, the way ZaZ set this up, we're going to start with the overview, and then we're going to go into each of the phases of play. So overview, first of all, the team is going to be playing with a shorter passing. They're also going to be playing with much higher tempo. They'll also be playing much narrower, and they're also going to be counter-attacking for the attacking transition. They're not going to force any creative freedom. The time wasting is not balanced. It is shifted to less often. By default, it is set to standard, but go ahead and drop it down to less often. You also want to keep the ball in play. Now for out of possession, the team is going to play with a high press. They're also going to play with a much higher defensive line. You also want the team to step up a lot more, and you also want to trigger press much more often. You also want to turn on counter press for their defensive transitions, and for tackling you want the team to get stuck in. So let's go back to in possession now, and we're going to look at each phase of play. For the final third, you want to encourage the team to dribble. You also want to walk the ball into the box and discourage shooting from distance. You also want to play low crosses. In possession in the middle third, when your team is progressing up the field, you're also going to, like I said, encourage dribbling, but you're going to pass into space when your team is trying to move the ball forward. During the build-up phase, the team is going to try to distribute the ball quickly. You're going to ask the goalkeeper to do that. You're also going to tell the goalkeeper to distribute the ball short, You're going to play through the defense. You're going to play through the press, which is almost like play out of defense in Football Manager previous games. Now, out of possession, we're going to go through the high press. In the high press phase, you want your team to prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. That is the only instruction you're going to turn on from there. During the mid-block phase, when the team is in this settled shape, you're not going to try to force them outside or inside, just leave everything unbalanced. During the low block, when the team has settled into a defensive shape, you're going to try to invite crosses. Now, to be honest with you, you need to have tall players in order to do this. Personally, I don't really fancy it, so sometimes during games, I normally just shift it all the way to balance and just leave everything the way it's supposed to be. But you can turn on invite crosses. That is ZaZ's default original system. Now, the name of the tactic is ZaZ Autumn 0.2. You can find it on FM Arena. Now, for opposition instructions, I do recommend you start the game without it because I'm not really sure how they work. But in case you trust your assistant manager, you can go ahead and apply the opposition instructions from the assistant manager's recommendations. Throughout this save, what I've been doing is sometimes using the assistant manager's recommendations, sometimes doing the opposition instructions myself, sometimes playing the game without the opposition instructions. So it's really up to you in that sense. See how it works out for you. There's no set rule for opposition instructions for this particular tactic anyway. So let's just get into the match. The assistant is already telling me to go hard on tackling Mark O'Mahony. We'll see how it goes. Lovely break from Bennett. So we've got our first highlight so far. And Stockport are in possession. Oh, we've gone on to recover possession. Here's ball. Out to Bennett. Lovely ball out wide to Lavery. Lovely is supposed to be my striker. Look how far wide he is. Oh my god, we've lost possession. Long ball over the top, Mahoney. Oh, we should have put him on hard tackling where we had the chance. And he's missed. Still patient in possession despite playing with a much higher tempo. Bennett's ball out wide to Lavery. There's channel forward. There's ball out to Bennett again. Can he just play that simple cross? Ball! Go 1-0. 6 goals in 37 games. Dominic Ball has actually got it back of the net. Wow, how about this from Bennett? Lovely ball from Bennett. Superb breaking play. Out to ball. Smashes that home. Ooh, how about that? Another Sealer. No way. Okay. There's Curtis. Hernandez. It's a shot. Oh! How the hell did he score from there? Oh no, Hernandez. Oh my days. I should have thought. There's no way they're going to let us have it that easy. Mistakes have been improved. Wait, it's an own goal. Isn't that an own goal? Half time is now upon us. It's 1-1, pretty level. Stockport have seemed to have more shots in the game, but we have better shots on target, and we also have the best possession in the game. But they're playing with a 4-2-3-1, so far so good. We've not been playing well. I can go ahead and apply opposition instructions right now, just for the second half, just to show you guys how I normally do this. So opposition instructions. I'm going to go ahead and see everything that the assistant manager is recommending for me. Go ahead and hit apply advice. Now we have our pressing trigger set on Brad Hills, one of their centre backs. And we also have our tight marking. There are 3 front strikers. That's the attacking midfielder, the AML and the AMR. They are all on tight marking. And I'm honestly going to consider putting them on weaker foot as well. Blue ball out wide to Knight. Knight do not lose possession. Eccleston plays it out to Mpanzo again. Do not lose possession. Knight, lovely ball to Eccleston. He's playing as a wing back. Oh, Neil Eccleston. How about that? Tastes like promotion. Knight out to Eccleston. How about that for a wing back's run into the box? Excessively attacking. Boom. There you go. 2-1. We see how like 30 minutes to go. We have about 15 minutes to go. At this point, I'm going to consider making changes. I'm just going to pause the game here and make sure I have enough legs to help us get through the game. I can see that my 2 centre backs are already nervous. One thing I hate about Football Manager 2026 is the fact that I cannot encourage my nervous players on the pitch in a big game like this. It is so annoying. So my channel midfielder is going to go off now. I'm going to need a defensive option. I do not have a defensive option. Okay, there's Anderson in here, but he can't play as a DM. I'm going to need a player that can play both as a defensive midfielder and a central midfielder, which is weird. I do not have anybody. So that might just about be it. We were successful against Stockport United, and we have officially been crowned champions of Sky Bet League 1, despite just getting promoted last season. That is just spectacular. How about that? That is a unique moment for us. This is something really satisfying, and thanks to the ZaZ tactic, we've been able to secure promotion. Hand me that trophy. There you go. There you go, Cambridge United. We are going into the championship. Whoa. Promotion. There we go. See you in the next video, guys. Eccleston is not going to let go of that trophy.